So if you've decided to go freelance or you're thinking about becoming self-employed, probably getting your first clients is going to be your top concern. I know that when I went freelance, that was the thing that I was most worried about. And now that I am a successful self-employed person, it's probably the question I get asked most about. How the heck do I get clients? So what I thought I would do in this video, even though it's like 300 degrees outside and I have to close the windows or else there's like sounds coming in from outside, so hot in here. Despite that, I'm gonna tell you basically what I did to get my first clients. Now, different things work for different people, so I want you to take all of this as information, not as like a blueprint on how you should find your first clients. But I do think that there are gonna be some really great nuggets in here that potentially you haven't thought about yet, and hopefully can help you on your gorgeous, exciting freelance journey. Let's do it. Hi, I'm Brittany. I am a self-employed workshop facilitator and event host. I have been doing this for probably about 4.5, coming up on 5 years, and I would call myself a successful freelancer. And what I mean by successful is that I have clients, I have kind of a pipeline, I have a couple of clients that are reoccurring that I've been working with the entire time I've been freelance, and then I also have some fun, exciting projects that sort of pop up now and again. So I think across the board in terms of how to get clients, I do have some advice for people, or I have some nuggets of knowledge or wisdom that could be really helpful. I do a lot of sharing about my work and my career and my life on this lovely platform we call YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed already, or you're new here and you're thinking, this seems kind of fun, maybe you should just subscribe. Maybe. Not forcing, merely friendly suggestion. So now I'm gonna go through step by step what I personally did when I went from being employed to being self-employed. And I made the transition I say it was easy. Obviously, starting to work for yourself is never easy, but I think it was probably a very smooth process compared to what maybe a lot of people are thinking that it might be. So the first thing that I did that really set me up for success is when I was actually employed and realized, hey, I think I want to try this whole self-employment thing and go freelance. I had this idea in my mind, right? So I already knew that I wanted to go freelance, but I wasn't quite ready to take the plunge yet. So what I did was I gave myself a bit of a timeline. I said I want to take 6 months as an employed person to prepare myself for becoming a freelancer. So in that 6 months, I set myself some super specific goals. The first thing that I did was I thought to myself, okay, I want to gain as much experience in doing the thing, right? Doing the thing that I want to freelance in as possible while I'm here. So I'm going to volunteer for like all the client projects. I'm going to go to all the events. I am going to like really get in there and make sure that I'm building up that skill as much as possible. So when I leave, I'm feeling super, super confident. Another thing to think about is, does your company offer a training budget, right? Or are there certain trainings that you can do within your company? All of those things, you should do those before you leave, because once you become self-employed, it's all coming out of your wallet, my friend. And it gets pricey. I mean, it's all a write-off, right? So who cares? Notice I'm not talking on my YouTube channel about how to manage your finances as a freelancer. I'm not qualified for that, but I have people who help me with it. So because I wanted to become a freelance workshopper, trainer, I wanted to work with all kinds of different clients, I basically took on all of that work, as much of that work as I possibly could, right? I was like, no more holidays, no more vacations, like no days off. I'm going to really just go balls to the walls. Am I allowed to say balls to the walls? I just did. I'm gonna go crazy, right? And really try to strengthen my skill set as much as possible. The second goal that I gave myself was to be extremely annoyingly present on social media. So I was like, I am gonna build up my social media presence as much as humanly possible. I'm gonna get on LinkedIn, I'm gonna start posting like crazy, I'm gonna build up my Instagram, I'm gonna make sure that I'm sharing a lot about what I'm doing. And it's not just like building up some social media presence for no reason. Like I was very strategically talking about the work that I was doing, about the work that I'm skilled at, right? What I'm good at, and I would share really valuable stuff around the things that I'm learning or things that I've found out, right? Really sharing my experience so people start to understand, oh, this girl's actually really good at this thing. And it's starting to sort of lay the foundation, right? So that when I go freelance, right? All of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, Brittany's been like crazy about this workshop thing and she's like running trainings all over the place all the time. That's so cool. Maybe I can get her to come in to my company, right? So set the foundation with your social media. So important. Choose a channel, okay? You don't have to go crazy on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you know what I mean, LinkedIn. Choose one. My advice would actually be LinkedIn. That's the one where your clients are likely to be if you're going out and freelancing in the kind of a corporate space of any kind. So getting a presence on LinkedIn is going to be majorly helpful for you. And number 3, the third thing that I did was actually probably arguably the most important thing and the thing that paid off the most for me when it came to actually getting clients right out of the gate, right when I went freelance. So in the 6 months leading up to me leaving my job, my full-time job, I made it my mission to make as many genuine connections as possible. And that sounds very ambiguous, but what I mean is like I would go to an event, maybe it's like an after work event, and I would say, I'm gonna leave here with one really awesome connection, with someone, like a genuine connection, right? I'm gonna like meet somebody, I'm gonna find somebody who I think I have something to talk about too. You know what I mean? I have something to talk to them about. I can kind of get in with them and build my network a little bit. When I went to do client projects, I thought, okay, one person on this team, I am going to make sure that I leave here feeling like we're not only colleagues, we're now kind of friends as well, right? So I was really focused and very strategic about building up my network, which is also really fun for me because I love meeting people and making friends. But if you're not, you can just think about it as a very business, type of goal, right? You are building your network and doing that very, very pointedly, right? Not just being like, oh, I'm just gonna like network. I hate the word networking actually. But all it really means is making connections. So think about that, right? Think about making very specific connections with like strategically, who would be good to be connected with here, right? Right before you go freelance. So it was super cool with all of those 3 steps that I took. When I actually made the, announcement, I went on social media on LinkedIn and I said, I'm freelance now. You can hire me for this and this and this. I got an influx of people asking me to get on a call and to talk about, how we can work together. So I had done those 3 things that really allowed me to really like build up this momentum, which ended up being a little bit overwhelming at first, which is really cool. I feel really lucky that happened, but you can do that really easily for yourself. And 6 months, maybe 1 year is like a realistic time frame to make that happen. Okay, so the first thing was you want to set yourself some goals before you leave your job, right? Second thing you're going to do, which is really important, and I think is often skipped, is that you are going to start talking to your potential clients as much as you humanly can. Right? So if you probably have an idea of who you want to work for when you go freelance. What I'm going to tell you now is you want to get on the phone with those people. You want to meet them for coffee. You want to get on a Zoom chat, even if they've only got 15 minutes. You want to be talking to those people as much as possible. You want to learn everything that you can about their pain points, their challenges, what keeps them up at night, what's going on right now in their industry, what are they thinking about the future, right? What are their goals? This is not about you pitching yourself. This is not about you pitching your offering. This is literally just about you getting as much information as possible. The more information you have about your clients and the people that they are, and the more you even know them on a personal level, the better you're going to be able to shape an offering that's going to be great for them. The more that you talk to them, the smaller the gap is going to be between what they need and what you're offering. So just make sure that you take time out, maybe even prepare a few questions that you ask, these people that you're networking with, that you're building these relationships with. ask them for a coffee, right? Take them out for a coffee. Hopefully you've built like a genuine connection where they don't feel like you're just asking them for a random favor, but they actually, also want to hear what you have to say about what's going on in your industry, right? So all of those things are important, but what's critical here is that you spend a lot of time asking questions and not a lot of time talking about yourself. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? I'm a talker, so sometimes I have to remind myself of that, to be honest. Third thing that you're gonna wanna do before you go freelance is you are going to want to have an initial offering. So a service, a set of services, one first workshop, one little piece of work that you can sell that isn't too expensive. First of all, right? The first thing that you're offering to a client is kind of like an introductory offer, right? It's like their first time working with you as a freelancer. We want them to, get used to you. We want it to be an easy sell. So something small that doesn't take a ton of time from them, that's going to be really powerful and really, really valuable for them is what you want to craft. And obviously you're going to craft that from all of the research you did by talking to all of your potential clients. So then you're coming at it from a really knowledgeable angle, and your service, your sort of small offering that you have, is going to be really basically shaped by your client. So perfect. The thing that I see a lot of people do is they kind of go freelance and they're like, I'm gonna be a freelance designer or a freelance workshop facilitator, but they don't have a specific offering right out of the gate. And it makes selling really hard when you don't have something specific to offer, because people just wanna know what they can hire you for. The easier you make that for them, the easier it is for them to sign on the dotted line or whatever. Sign on the dotted line. Is that a song? Okay, lastly, this is number 4. Really, really important. I can't stress this enough. Have some savings. Have 6 months of savings. If you're able to have more than 6 months of savings, like 6 months of rent, 6 months of expenses covered, that would be great. Now, I had about 6 months of savings when I went freelance, and what happened there was it just allowed me to relax a little bit and focus on the work. I didn't work for probably the first 3 months of being a freelancer because it was setting everything up, right? And what you don't want is to be super stressed about signing that client. You want to be able to take your time and make sure that it's right for both parties, instead of being frantic because you just need a paycheck to pay your rent, right? So make sure that you have your rent covered, your mortgage covered, for a few months at least. Honestly, I advise 6 though. 6 allows you to breathe, allows you to relax, and you just can ease in to your freelance life without being up all night stressing, right? Nobody wants that. Nobody. All right, to wrap it all up while it gets toasty warm in here, I wonder if I look really sweaty. Probably. Hey, it's just a healthy glow. So this is what you want to consider when you're going freelance. I want you to, first of all, set some goals for yourself while you're still employed. That's the first thing. Make sure you do that. And then you have a little bit of motivation. And honestly, sometimes people, when they're stuck in their job and they're I just want to go freelance, this helps you to kind of separate yourself from your job, right? You're these are my personal goals. I'm going to use my job. I'm going to do a really great job, but I am going to use it to fulfill my dreams, right? My freelance dreams. So that's a good way of looking at it. So that's the first thing, set yourself some goals. Second thing is talk to your potential clients as much as you can. Seriously, getting those coffees. Maybe you should switch to decaf because you're gonna be having so many coffees. Third, have a first offering. Develop something out of your research that you can offer that is easy. It's a kind of an introductory offer for your clients. It's something that's kind of cheap and easy for both sides. Cheap, I mean affordable. You're not cheap. Don't you dare be cheap. Fourth, savings. Have some savings before you go freelance. You will allow yourself to relax a lot more. You can ease into your freelance life, and it's gonna be so much more fun, I promise. Okay, that's it. That's my advice. This is what I did, and I really enjoyed my transition into freelance life. So I wanted to pass that along, and maybe you can also enjoy that transition because it is very, very fun. And I have to say, I'm a big advocate for self-employment. I love it. So that's all from me. I'm Brittany. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any more questions about being a freelance workshop facilitator, event host, all those kinds of things, you can drop those in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And for now, I'll just leave you with a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue, you're going freelance. Whoop-dee-doo! I did make that up just now, I swear to God. I mean, obviously I made it up just now. It was ridiculous. Okay, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful evening, have a wonderful morning. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody. Dance to a little music, dance, dance.